We're given the graph of y equals g of x. We want to see what the following limits are. Starting off, we have the limit as x approaches 1 of g of x. So at x equals 1, if we notice, if we come from the left here, as x approaches 1 from the left, the limit is going to be 1. And if we approach it from the right, the limit is 0. And so because the left hand and the right hand limits are not the same, we say that the limit does not exist. Now let's look at it. The limit as x approaches 2 of g of x. At x equals 2, when we come from the left, we approach y equals 1, and we approach from the right. At x equals 2, we approach y equals 1. So in both directions, left and right, the limit is 1. Now let's approach x equals 3. So from the left, we come down to x equals 3. That approaches 0. And we come in from the right, that also approaches 0. So because the left hand and the right hand limit are both 0, we say that the limit is 0. Now finally, we're looking at the limit as x approaches 2.5 of g of x. So this is 2. 2.5 is somewhere around here. And if we notice that the slope is -1, since we go down 1, right 1. So the slope is -1. That means if we were to go halfway, we would expect to go down -1/2. So from 1, you go down 1/2. That means the y value now is 1/2. So whether we come in from the left or the right, we're still going to approach the same value, which is 1/2. So that is our limit. Okay, next example, we have s equals f of t. Let's evaluate the limit as t approaches -2 of f of t. So -2 is over here. Coming in from the left, we approach 0. Coming in from the right, we also approach 0. So we say the limit is 0. Now let's approach -1. So -1 from the left is down here, which is -1. And then coming in from the right is also -1. So the limit is -1. Next one, we're approaching 0. So coming in from the left, we see 0 is at -1. And then coming in from the right, it's +1. So because the left hand and the right hand limits are not the same, we say that the limit does not exist. Okay. Now we have the limit as t approaches -0.5 of f of t. So -0.5 is somewhere here. So as we're approaching left, we see it's going to be -1. And as we approach it from the right, well, here from the right stops at 0. So we can't use this. So let's say you're coming in from the right, you have to jump down here because that's where it continues. Well, technically you jump here and then here. So you end up at the same spot, which is at -1. So the limit is -1. Now let's look at the limit as x approaches 0 of f of x. Okay, so if we're coming from the left, the limit here is 0. Coming in from the right, the limit is also 0. So therefore the limit is 0 as x approaches 1. So 1 is over here, so we can approach it from the left. That goes down here to -1. And if you approach it from the right, that goes to 0. So the left hand goes to -1, the right hand goes to 0. Because these two are not the same, we say that the limit does not exist. And that is our answer.